Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Deb, Learning Strategies Department Chair, Learning Frameworks Instructor, and someone who still gets graded by her supervisor. Today you're watching the sixth video in a series of transitional issues that new college students often face. Today I'm exploring the issue of grades, recognition, awards, and achievements that may be similar to or different from those you experience in high school, home, or the workforce. In addition to the issues surrounding grades and grading, I will also explore the learning theory of cognitive dissonance, the learning strategy of exam debriefs, and Cusio's third principle of social interaction and collaboration, students and faculty. Victoria College's Total Learning Center presents Dr. Deb Explains, transition issue number 6, grades. Everyone wants to do well in college. No one likes to fail or look stupid. In fact, many students put a lot of pressure on themselves to make good grades or to have a high GPA or grade point average. However, those who are focused on only the grades often miss the big picture. It's not really about the grades at all. Few employers really care about your GPA. What they really care about is what you have learned. Now, that's not to say that grades aren't important. They are, and you should always know where you stand in a class. Some instructors post grades in Canvas so students can see what they've made and where they stand. However, it is the responsibility of the student to check the grades and make sure that everything is correct. Instructors are human and mistakes can be made. Now, what happens if an instructor doesn't use Canvas for grading? How are those students to know what grades they have and if they're doing well or not? Every instructor should have the assignments and how the course grading system works listed in the syllabus. I know no one ever pays attention to the syllabus, but you should, because if your instructor doesn't tell you what grade you have in the course, how can you make good decisions about dropping the class or working harder? In this case, you may have to keep track of the grades and calculate the grades yourself. This is quite easy to do if you know whether the instructor uses a point system or a weighted system, which should also be in the syllabus. Have you ever studied really hard for an exam and were confident that you did well on it, only to discover that you failed it when you got your grades back? Remember the feeling that you got when that happened? That is probably cognitive dissonance, which is the uncomfortable feeling that you get when your actions don't match your beliefs. In this case, the belief that you studied hard and did well on the exam didn't quite match up with your actions, whether you studied the wrong material or in an incorrect way. This happens to us a lot in life. We know what we should do, like study a little bit every day, but what we actually do is spend a lot of time on Netflix because we are tired and we deserve a break. That guilty feeling that you should be doing something productive instead of lounging on the sofa? That's cognitive dissonance. How does this relate to grades? It's obvious, isn't it? Stop procrastinating what you should be doing and start doing the actual work to get the grades and to learn the material. There are 3 ways that you can eliminate this cognitive dissonance. 1, change your beliefs. Tell yourself that you really don't need to study. You already know the material, so what's the point of studying anyway? 2, change your actions. Get your butt off the sofa. Study the material. Or 3, rationalize your behaviors. This is what actually happens when you tell yourself that you should be studying. But you worked hard, your brain is fried, and you won't get anything productive done in this state anyway. A great learning strategy for this section is to do an exam debrief. This helps with grades because you can see what you did wrong and correct the errors. This also helps to eliminate the cognitive dissonance that you may feel. After every exam, you need to look at the questions that you missed and why you missed them. Did you misread the question? Did you make a careless error? Was the information unfamiliar to you? If so, did you study the wrong information? Or did you study in the wrong way? For example, did you study the definition and you needed to know how to apply it instead? Then you should take the time to find the correct answer, whether that's from your notes or the textbook. If your instructor doesn't let you keep the exams after taking them, or even let you look at them, you may need to go to the instructor's office hours in order to complete the exam debrief. The ultimate goal is to use the opportunity to fix your studying and or test-taking strategies in order to better learn the material the next time around. And this leads directly into Cusio's principle of social interaction and collaboration between students and faculty. Your instructors are some of your greatest assets in your learning, so don't be afraid to utilize them. Utilize them like you would any other resource. They have office hours for a reason, and very few students actually use them. You can use them for exam debriefs, feedback on assignments, or simply asking questions to better learn the material. This wraps up transition issue number 6, grades, for this week. If you want to know more about transition issues that new college students often face, tune in next week for more Dr. Deb Explains.